Hey you guys, in this video I'm going to be doing some scratching and tapping, some tracing like this just on all the items that I purchased and received as gifts from my trip in India. Actually most of these are gifts, so it's everything I brought back with me from India. Starting with this gorgeous sari. So in the no talking version of this video that's already out, I obviously was not sharing the details of the items, just kind of making the sounds of them, so I'm excited to actually share with you in this video what everything is. So a sari, S-A-R-I, is a gorgeous piece of fabric that is something like 5-6 meters long. I don't know exactly, it's very long, and it wraps around your body to create, to me, the most beautiful dress in the world. It's just gorgeous the way that a sari is tied. It's called tying a sari. So basically I used to live in India and I got to go back to visit recently for the first time, and it was just really wonderful to spend time with all of the people that I love from that time in my life, and to this day I am very close with lots of them, my students there that I taught when I lived there. They're like very important to me, as I've shared in previous videos, but in case you're new to the channel and this is the first video you're watching mine, just wanted to give you a little backstory there. So this sari was a gift from two of my female students and their family. It's a gorgeous orange coloured sari. The village that I used to live in and visited used to be known for sari making, weaving the saris together. Okay, this next item is called dal. You can see it there, D-A-R. This is something that we eat. It's cute in many different ways. So in this case it's in snack form, but usually it's cooked with some vegetables and amazing spices and eaten with like chapati or rice. Depends on where you're at in India, but I think the closest we have to it regularly in the US would be like lentils, but it's different than lentils, just similar though, like in the same family, I guess you could say. So this is a box of dal that's been, it's like dried with spices, and it's a delicious, healthy snack. I just love the sound of this box that it came in. So this had like a not aluminum, I don't know, metal, no, I can't think of the word, just like a bag inside, like aluminum-ish, aluminum-esque. with the doll inside. Wow, I'm tired. That did not really make sense. Hopefully you understand what I mean by that. It's like the plastic bag that looks like metal cover with the doll inside. So I took it out to actually film the video. It's hollow at the moment, there's nothing inside. This next item is the most meaningful gift I received, because I had lots and lots of students that I got to see while I was there, but two of my students ended up getting married to each other. They live in Dubai now, and they couldn't make it to see me in person or to make it to the reunion that we kind of did with the students, and they were so sad and really wished they were there. And we kept FaceTiming throughout the time I was there, and it was just very sweet and thoughtful and meaningful that they got this gift for me. They had another student and his wife grab it for me and presented it to me like over FaceTime, so it was quite special. I'll show you what's on the inside now. It just came in this bag. It looks like you're going to get like an Apple product, but it's not. It's actually just jewellery. And this is the bag that the jewellery box came in. And again, I just love the sounds of it. It's got a little white zipper. So inside there's a little box that holds a little ring, and the ring is the gift from my students, and it destroyed me. It really, like, I just was on the floor in a good way. Hope that made sense. I wept because I couldn't believe they gave me such a generous gift. I've never received anything like this, and it was just like, what? And they surprised me with it, and like my other student and his wife had gone out and purchased it for them and like presented it to me on FaceTime with them, and the whole thing was just like, so let's check out the box, which sounds amazing as well. Oh my gosh, it sounds so good. I've been rewatching Friends on Netflix, and when I just said that sentence, I don't know, I heard Chandler's tone of voice, and I was like, oh my. Anyway, there's the ring, and just so pretty, so sweet, means the world to me, and I'm very thankful that they thought of me, and I don't know, I just love them so much. The husband was one of my hostel students, which means the students that lived in the hostel, they lived on campus, so I was with them 24/7 pretty much, you know, besides actually sleeping, I was with them constantly. So I know them really well, they know me really well, and dependent upon their age, if they were like my little brother, my brother, my son, I don't know, kind of like a mentor to some. Anyway, I just have special relationships with each of them, and so the husband in this case is one I was really close with, and then his wife, she was a day scholar at the school, and so I didn't know her as well, but I did teach dance to her. I taught dance classes when I was there, and I knew her, and I taught in her regular school classes and stuff, but I again, she wasn't living in the hostel where I was, you know, the mom, friend, big sister to all of them, so a bit different, but it was just really sweet that they both wanted to, like, you know, send something and be a part of reconnecting at the reunion, but they couldn't, so it was so sweet. They were literally just on FaceTime with us all the time, like pretending they were there. It was so cute. I'll try and tap on this box again because it sounds so good. That's the first thing I've ever owned that's like, it's gold. Like, that's gold. I've never owned gold before. Never. In India it's very common to have gold rings, gold necklaces, etc. And it's not that common in the US to just have a gold ring. Like, we have a lot of fake rings. And maybe it's common for other people, I don't know. But it's just super common in India. Like, everyone has that. That's like a part of what you save your money for. Okay, next. These are little packs of, do you know? It's henna. Henna is basically like a leaf that breaks down into this beautiful paste that you use for decorating primarily women's hands and feet for different celebrations like weddings, birthdays, festivals, etc. So they come in these cones. It's called a henna cone, and they're soft and squishy. And if you'd like to see how it's applied, I put out a video of one of my students' friends putting it on my student. It's very relaxing. For me, it's like ASMR in real life, you know, just like watching someone do the beautiful, intricate designs on someone's hands. They just squeeze the product on, and then it does take a long time to dry. Once it's dried, it starts to flake off on its own, and you're left with a beautiful henna tattoo. Henna tattoo's not permanent, but it's usually on you for about 2 weeks. It's kind of got a red or dark black colour, depending on the henna you use and how long it's on you before you wash it off, basically. So that's henna. Next, I've got these postcards. I have a large batch of them. I'm just going to go through them quickly and show you the pictures, because you can see different special parts of India. The Taj Mahal, for example. I did a video tapping on the Taj Mahal. If you didn't catch it, I highly recommend it. I did a talking and no talking version. Well, technically, the talking version is with a tour guide, so you get to hear a bit about it as I tap through the place. The no talking version is no tour guide. So all these are special spots in India. If you ever travel there, you will come across all of these wonderful places, or can come across them if you have the time and can move about, visit everything in every place. But India is obviously very large, so you might have to do that over a period of years of visiting once in a while. But there's the Taj Mahal again. After I did my video at the Taj Mahal, the tour guide that I had brought me back to their, like, headquarters, and said, take as many postcards as you want, they're free. And I was like, okay, I will take as many as I can with different pictures to show you guys here on the channel, and tap on them for you. I'm not actually sending them to anyone. Okay, This is a gigantic Ziploc bag of cashews. The other thing that the village I lived in was known for was cashews. I don't know how much you guys know about India or the history in India, but there's an unfortunate thing called the caste system. The caste system puts people into different societal rankings, essentially, with different names from the lowest to the highest castes. And a part of that system comes jobs are often attached to those castes. So in the village I lived in, the castes that were there worked on surreys and cashews. The current generations are trying to change this, but it's really embedded in the traditions and culture, and it's very difficult to rid out. It's interesting because all the school books, I don't know if this is still true today, but when I was there, and I did ask one of my students if it still said this in the books, and they confirmed that it did. So it says on the front page, if you open a school book, it will say caste is a lie, which is beautiful, but unfortunately most families still live in that system. So if you want to marry someone that you're in love with who's not from your caste, your parents are likely going to say no, and it's very painful for a lot of people. Jobs are, like I said, sometimes associated to your caste, etc. It's not good. It's actually just pure evil. I hate the caste system. It pushes people down into believing they're not valuable if they're not a part of a higher caste. So obviously very much a lie. Okay, I'm going to talk about this item now because I'm getting heated. This is a Punjabi dress. This was also a gift. The cashews were a gift too. That was from one of my students. His family does cashew business, and they gave me 2 actually giant bags of cashews, which is really generous. And they're delicious, so it's really sweet. I travelled back with so many cashews. But yeah, this is called a Punjabi dress. It basically goes past your knees, usually closer between the ankles, and maybe like around your shin is where it goes to, mid-shin. Mostly they're short sleeve, but sometimes they're 3/4. They've often got these gorgeous designs on them. Different colours, different patterns. Everything's just bright and beautiful and filled with life in India. And the clothes are no exception. So yeah, this is a gift from one of my students and his sisters. There's the design there at the bottom as well. Something I always thought about and said about Indian culture versus American culture is that when you're walking out in the streets in India, often you're on dirt roads. It's not clean, and there's animals and there's all sorts of rubbish, etc., etc. But people are dressed to the nines. It's like, you're just like, wow. It's like the things they're wearing in the US, we wouldn't wear that unless we were going to like an extremely fancy dinner party or something like that, you know. But this is an everyday outfit in India, you know, and it's a little fancy, but you can get away with this in just a normal day in India. Whereas in juxtaposition to that, in the US, generally speaking, these are generalities, but more true than not. You know, when you're walking through the US, you're not typically on a dirt road for most places. Again, generality, and it's much more clean. That's just a fact. It's just much more clean. We don't have rubbish on the ground most places, etc. There's more infrastructure, and the infrastructure is taken care of better for the most part. But the funny part is we all walk around like we're just like chilling at the beach with some flip-flops and a hoodie, you know, or like I've gone to the grocery store in pajamas more times than I can count, and I love it. You could never do that in India or Egypt for that matter. So yeah, we just chill and wear whatever we want in the US, and we're dressed like, you know, kind of just not so much like, it's not bad, it's just super casual compared to how formal you can dress just on a day-to-day basis in India. But the joke was like we dress like we're just homeless walking around, but on these beautiful streets. And in India, it's just like the streets are just trashed, and you're just walking around like a queen, dressed like a queen. Okay, so this is a box of sweets. This was another gift from a student, and the box is currently empty. That's why I'm able to move it around like this, but there are lots of sweets in here. Sweets in India tend to be much less sweet than the US, a lot less sugar. They are often even slightly savoury, or made with something that is not sweet. So you might use something like, for example, maybe like the doll I showed you earlier. You could actually use that, I think, in different sweets or things like it. Something that you would tend to think of as savoury. Sugar can be added, but light sugar, and it becomes a sweet. You guys from India, what's laddu made from? Is it like ghee? Ghee and what else? Laddu, for those who don't know what it is, it's like this little ball of almost like a dough, but it's not that sweet, and it's one of the most, I don't know, famous sweets from where I lived in the south. Laddu. Okay, next item. This is just a charger, and I did purchase this one. I just needed this to have the right outlet for India. It's just allowed for me to charge my phone. It has like a USB port on the other side, and then has the correct plug for India. Most countries have different plugs. Okay, this is another gift that came in a nice crinkly and quite cute bag with some silver polka dots on orange plastic material. So I actually showed a video of the process of these being made in one of the videos I put out during my time in India as well. It's cracked here, but usually this is like a square of cashews that have a sweet, like what's the word? I don't know, like a sugar water, caramelized sugar liquid that binds all the cashews together. And I believe they put jaggery inside of it, like a flavouring. Sorry if I'm not saying it correctly, jaggery or something, but you can see how gorgeous it is. And the process of watching it be made for me is also like ASMR, because it's these big pots of the, let's call it caramel, heating up and bubbling up, and then they pour it over the cashews and they mix it in this giant pot pot, and then they lay it out on these metal sheets and flatten it, and they score it and break it and package it. I did a video called, I think it was like Real Life ASMR or Unintentional ASMR in India, and I showed that process in that video. If I remember, I'll try to put a link to that in the comments below. Not comments, description box, sorry. So I actually brought back 2 of those. Okay. And lastly, I think this is our last item. Well, it's a series of items. The first part is an underskirt. This is what you wear underneath a sari. So you put this skirt around your waist and it usually matches the sari, and then you wear a blouse with it, which I'll show you in a moment, and this is the sari colour, so we kind of tried to match it to that. You can't always get it exact, but it doesn't quite matter because the sari is very thick, you can't see the underskirt, but you know, we try to match them. And you can go to stores that have tons of different colours of underskirts. This is a gift from the student I stayed with, who I'm really close to. I call him my younger brother. In Telugu, he's my Tomidu. I call him Tomidu, he calls me Akka. And that's big sister. And he and his wife gave me this sari, and it was so beautiful. I got to wear this to the reunion that we did with my students. And it was just a wonderful experience, very meaningful. Gosh, I feel like life has been so fast since I got back. I feel like I didn't even fully get to process everything. I'm going to need to do that at some point. Yeah. Okay, this is the blouse. I'm going to try to kind of show you what it looks like without putting it on, but generally it's usually shorter. It's like a mid-drift. In India, your stomach showing is not considered immodest. It's just normal everyday life. Everyone, your grandma's wearing it. Okay, everyone is wearing this. This buckles in the back, and there's like an opening in this one. I like this opening, and there's like these beautiful tassels. I love this. I think it's my favourite blouse I've ever had for a sari. The designs have changed since I lived there, and I really liked this design. It's got the open back, and it's beautiful tassel tie. You can see that opening. And so then you wrap the sari around you in the blouse and the underskirt, and everything's covered except for one side of your stomach. And again, that's just normal. It's just how everyone wears the dress. I live in Egypt currently, so that would be considered extremely risque here. But it's just normal as can be there. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed seeing all the items. Bye for now.